If StacksAMilli really got hurt, Quebec would send over a helicopter for me to get transferred over to LHC, LHSC. Sorry, I just got out of LHSC a couple of years ago. It's one of our nicest hospitals in our areas, nicest hospitals. London Health Science Center. London Health Science Center. And I did so good thanks to them. And I had the privilege, even though I am privileged as a Canadian citizen, to hold health care where I'm able to receive treatment from a hospital. Uh, and uh, yeah, so and they fly people out to that hospital if they and uh, and London Health Science Center, urbanization, crowding, da 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 da. I'm not going to get into it too into, but it's a great hospital, one of the best hospitals that I've ever stayed at, and I got to see the orange chopper. I had a room with, and I was next to the window, and I seen the orange chopper, and I have a video of the orange chopper coming in and out of LHSC. It's on my YouTube channel, and you have to go through my YouTube channel. I have several videos at the London Health Science Center, and I have several videos with doctors, nurses, and medical assistants and things from London's Victoria Hospital. And I spent 3 months there, and they have the greatest food, and they have the greatest staff, and it's one of the greatest facilities. And it feels like I I felt like I was in a penthouse in my room, but you have to share it most of the time with another patient. And they have great food, and they can accommodate for your certain diet restrictions or whether you need more or less. And I almost died, and I'm suffering from a lot of things. And this was in the heart of COVID-19, but they tried their hardest, and the doctors did too. And it's a great facility, and they got air conditioning. I wouldn't have survived without it. And they got me on ODSP. The doctor did, Dr. Richard of uh, London Health Science Center. Dr. Julie Richard. And she diagnosed me as being psychotic. And I always knew I was psychotic, but it got worse when I just had no way to make any money. The disabilities just, I just couldn't make it anymore to be able to survive. And hell, I couldn't even go psychotic. That's how bad it got. But yeah, when I do suffer from being a little bit psycho, but I always sort of tried so far to mitigate it into being a positive thing, like using all my energy or anger or whatever in sort of like directing it like a laser beam into workflow, some sort of thing that is substantial, or it's a progression. Even me speaking like this right now, I could be doing anything, but I want to do this because people can go back and look, this is a real scientist. So is this guy and all this. And they're featured in the video, and he did a still picture. Now it's in a video. It's productive. And they have these cool chairs there at the Science Center. And that one's at the Lawson Health Research Institute. And this was the first time I ever stayed in a hospital. I always wanted a long stay. I always knew I was going to have a long stay in a hospital. It's almost like God planned it all out. And StacksAMilli went to the hospital, and it's almost like a dream come true. And If you go watch my videos at the hospital, you'll get why I cry. Because I
My
literally
daughter actually
almost
got her.
captured a lot of stuff. And I did some adult videos at the hospital too, and you can go see that on my adult channel, which is separate. But it's not on YouTube at all. You'd have to be an adult to find it or whatever. But what is it called? I was lucky enough to do many things. But look at this. You can see I was there for a full out tour. I produced a lot of content. And what's it called? You had my arms and whatnot, and my toe. Look at my toe was horrible. And some of the stuff you have to be like 18 or over to look at it. Like even this was 18 or over to see the abrasions on my feet. But I was deteriorating. Look at right here. This was a wound. And I'm still suffering. Definitely suffering. Oh, I will be suffering until the day I die from these things. And without money, but my it's not like this on a day-to-day basis. But if I don't have that support system of as soon and like having air conditioning, heat, and a nice warm, comfy bed, and being in a nice, closed environment from the harsh weather conditions, not being on my feet and having a proper diet and all that, I'm gonna die. And I have really bad heart problems. And this is when I first got my new HP laptop. And guess what? I never had ever even tried this HP until I had gone to the hospital. And guess what? The hospital was decked out so happily with HP laptops. It was like everything was meant to be. I was supposed to get a Dell laptop. It just never came through. It got stolen. Then I had to get it replaced. It got stolen. So then I went through HP, and it just was 100% right. Everything was filmed, and I got to try it in the hospital, and I got to make this awesome videos, and I got to play World of Warcraft in the hospital. I got to meet other patients that also played World of Warcraft, and they wanted to play with me when they got out of the hospital. And I met a lot of people in the hospital, and I did a lot of things. There's a lot to do in the hospital, a lot of activities. And you're not really supposed to film in the hospital, but you can get away with it, and it's been generally accepted on the internet. You can do your food, and you can do yourself in your bed, and you can do your private things of your own things. But quite possibly, if you get permission from others, but you're generally not supposed to be doing any filming of anybody other's business, or really anywhere that you could capture anybody other's business. You can FaceTime your loved one and everything. That's video, and they may be recording. That's just part of the world. People record. It saves it. Why would you not record? So you can never see it again. You lose it, you go cry because you can never bring it back up. And there's so much money to be made off just recording. But some people don't want to do it, and I understand. Maybe they're hiding something, and that's scary. But what I was saying, I did a lot of things. I even worked out and tried to get in shape, but I just can't get in shape. It's just impossible. I have a genetic disease. It's the shape of my body. I go up and down a little bit on the stomach, but it's horrible. I'm a fat man. I have gigantic man titties. Gigantic man titties, like gynecomastia to the max. And whatever. And I did dinner time in the hospital. And we got the jacket with the food and whatnot. And that's when I first had that green military jacket. I did a whole tour with that green military jacket. Here's the broccoli and cheddar soup. I have a whole bunch of meals I eat in the hospital. It's very nutritious at the hospital. And you can go, sir, it's a worldwide thing throughout Canada, United States, all other countries, to show maybe one or two hospital meals. Search it up on YouTube. It's a trend, showing your hospital meal. And I showed my breakfast once, and I showed my dinner once, and I showed my lunch once. And there's, yeah, you can find ones all over the world of people showing what their dinner was at the hospital. And I was very privileged to get to stay in the hospital, and because I had suffered greatly. So the hospital was a great help for me.